Good morning to all of you. Today our topic is pteridophytes, life cycle of pteridophytes. So as you know, like bryophytes, pteridophytes do possess alternation in generations. That means it has two uh, phases in the life cycle: gametophytic phase and sporophytic phase. In bryophyte, we have studied that gametophytic phase is dominant and sporophytic phase is dependent on gametophytic phase. Okay, in case of bryophytes. But in case of pteridophytes, uh, sporophytic phase or sporophytic body is main plant body, which is diploid and dominant phase in the life cycle of pteridophytes. So here you can see the life cycle of pteridophytes. We would begin with sporophytic body or sporophyte. So this is a sporophyte, diploid, okay, and is main plant body. Here you can see, and as we have told you that the plant body of pteridophytes is differentiated into leaves, rhizome and roots. Rhizome is underground stem in pteridophytes. So this is the sporophytic or main plant body of pteridophytes. So this is a soil layer. This is rhizome, which is underground vertical stem, and this is leaf, which is also known as frond, and they are also known as sporophylls or sporophylous leaves. Why they are known as sporophyll or sporophylous leaves? Because they are responsible for producing spores in the lower region of leaves. Okay, so spore bearing leaves. That's why they are known as sporophylls or sporophylous leaves. If we cut a section of this leaf where spores are producing or developing, here you can see this is a leaf or sporophylus, means spore bearing leaf, and the arrangement of these sori actually these are the structures where spores are developed. In each sori, in each sorus, uh, spores are produced or developed. So they are present at the margin of this sporophylous leaves. Okay, so the location of sori or sorus, these are the structures where spores are developed. They are present at the margin of the leaves, and these sori or sorus, they are developed during the reproductive season of pteridophytes. Okay, if we zoom in this structure or this arrangement of this sori or sorus at the margin of leaves, here you can see the arrangement, the umbrella-like arrangement of leaf, and inside this is the lower region of leaf. There, this is a stalk, and this is sporangia. Sporangia is attached with the stalk, okay, and there could be too many sporangia present in a leaf, okay, and inside this sporangia, inside this sac-like structure, development of spore mother cell takes place. So here you can see this structure, stalk and sporangia. Here you can see this structure. This is stalk, okay, linear arrangement of cells, and here you can see the sac-like structure, which is known as sporangia, has two different types of cells. This is a thick wall of layer. Thick walled cells are present over here. They are known as annulus, and these thick walled cellular layer actually prevents dehiscence or rupturing of sporangia of this sac-like structure. But on other hand, these thin walled cells are also present over here, known as stomium, and these cells are known for dehiscence or rupturing. Actually, the rupturing of this sporangia takes place from here where these thin walled cells are present, and right from here spores are released. Okay, so when this spore mother cells, where spores are being produced or developed inside this thick and thin walled layer of cells, this spore mother cell undergoes meiotic division or undergo meiosis to form spores. Okay, so this SMC or this spore mother cell which is diploid undergoes meiosis, reduction or division to form spores, and now spores has now become haploid after after undergone meiosis. And from these haploid spores, when these spores start germinating, after germination they become green photosynthetic haploid structure or gametophytic structure which is known as prothallus. Okay, so this prothallus, which is heart shaped structure, is green, and as they are known as green because they are photosynthetic, they are haploid, and is gametophytic body. So this prothallus or gametophytic body, which is haploid, is developed from spores after germination. So here you can see this prothallus or heart shaped structure over here. This is a heart shaped structure of prothallus, and this depression which makes this prothallus appears like heart, this depression is known as a apical notch, and this is a dorsal side of prothallus, this is ventral side of prothallus. So towards ventral side there are many unicellular rhizoids are present over here. There are many unicellular rhizoids are present, and their main function is to absorb water, or you can say they act like roots. Okay, so these unicellular rhizoids, they absorb water and they present towards ventral side of prothallus, and inside or in between these rhizoids, in between these rhizoids, male sex organs are present, means antheridia. These are antheridia structure. So male sex organ present in between these unicellular rhizoids, or you can say male sex organ which is antheridia is present towards ventral side of prothallus in between the unicellular rhizoids and produces sperms or male gamete. On the towards dorsal side, the presence of female sex organ or archegonia. So archegonia is present towards dorsal side, and antheridia, male sex organ, is present towards ventral side in between the unicellular rhizoids. Okay, so here you can see I have differentiated the structures of archegonium and antheridium. Here you can see this male sex organ, that is archegonium, female sex organ. This is a venter. Venter is you can say that's a protective pouch where embryo is developed. This is venter, a protective cellular layer, and this is neck. And inside this, egg is formed or developed. And on other hand, this male sex organ is antheridia. Here you can see this long cell, this long oval cell is known as basal cell. These two cells are known as ring cells, and this pointed cell is known as lid cell. And there is a gap from where sperm is, or male gamete is released from N3D. And when this sperm is released, this sperm moves towards a female sex organ or archegonium, and when it reaches up to the female sex organ, this archegonial structure releases malic acid, very important. This archegonial structure releases malic acid and sugar to attract sperm for fusion, and sperm gets fused with egg to form a diploid zygote. And when this diploid 2N zygote is formed, this zygote then changes into sporophytic diploid main plant body. And then from main plant body, then again, you can see over here, spore mother cell, meiosis, spore, then again prothallus, then again formation of male and female gametes, fusion, zygote, and from zygote again sporophytic body or main plant body. So in pteridophytes, sporophyte or sporophytic body is main plant body and is diploid, and from sporophytic body spores are being produced in sporophylls or spore bearing leaves, and these spores actually after germination they become haploid green photosynthetic gametophytic body which is known as prothallus. Prothallus develops male and female gametes, and those male and female gametes they get fused to form a diploid zygote, and that zygote then develops into sporophytic, which is a main plant body. So it's all about pteridophytes. So in the next lecture we would discuss about gymnosperms. Thank you.